Hi, welcome to my channel, Recovery and Peace. In this video I want to explain how my poor mental health started. I was often told by people wanting to give good advice, don't be sad, don't be angry, don't get stressed. Whereas are you sad, feel your anger, be with your stress would have been more apt. My childhood was mixed up, parental separation at an early age, quite minimal nurture, and sometimes I didn't feel safe. Anxiety emerged in my teen years because of a scary experience that happened. I couldn't calm down after that, and an ongoing anxiety struggle pursued. I was a confused young man and didn't want to be kind to myself. I subconsciously wanted to hurt. I didn't want to experience my stressful mind, I just couldn't be. So drugs were my solution for my feelings, I thought my last solution too. An ongoing use of weed deteriorated my mental health to the point of utter anxiety and the beginning of voices in my mind. At the start the voices were subtle, but I knew they weren't my usual internal. I was aware that something wasn't quite right with my thoughts, but I was petrified, in denial and unable to admit the truth to myself and others. I had the beginning of psychosis occurring. I was addicted to cannabis and couldn't stop, and this made me very concerned. I knew the frequency of the voices inside my head were gaining momentum, and I couldn't stop the problem. Weed smoking alongside severe oppression was causing my mental health problems to deteriorate. I was asked whether I was hearing voices a few times by my mother. After her insisting I tell her the truth, I finally admitted that I was. I had an appointment with a psychiatrist to discuss my symptoms and placed on some rather strong antipsychotics. I put on 6 stone in 6 months. The antipsychotic just didn't suit me. I was so sedated I sometimes slept 22 hours in a day. My life was difficult during the first few years of being placed on medication. I felt worry, shame, embarrassment, helplessness, and overwhelmed with myself. I didn't understand myself at all and didn't admit anything to myself about my illness. During this time, I suffered with a part of my illness called delusional moods. Moods would come on after a few hours of waking up. The moods would gradually set in over the space of about half an hour. I'd feel an eeriness creep in my feelings. My vision would change to be quite tinted with a dark edge. At the peak of the delusional mood, I'd feel like I was having a bad acid trip. My whole mind and body in a petrified state that just wouldn't lift until I shut my eyes and tried to sleep. I'd rush to get home, my gaze constantly being drawn to the floor below me like a magnet. I was unable to move my head up and even check for cars as I crossed the road. I'd retreat to bed and wait for those symptoms and the moods to pass, staying in bed for up to 20 hours at one point to let this mad set of symptoms to pass. These lasted for about 3 years. I was lucky enough to have an appointment with a gentleman called Professor David Nutt. He re-prescribed me a new antipsychotic medication, but also prescribed me some diazepam to deal with the moods. After taking diazepam, the moods would lift within 10 minutes. The moods gradually stopped coming and they were gone within 6 months of the re-prescription. Professor Nutt saved my life and gave me hope during that extra dark period.